Hi, my name is Andrew. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. And this video is a focus on USA seed capital investors, and it is part of a video series that I will be having in the next few weeks on company profiles of over 570 seed capital investors in the USA. So if you're looking to do fundraising for the first time, this is a great resource for you. A bit of information about myself. I'm a fundraising strategist with 15 years of experience in high-end real estate sales and marketing, spanning Canada, Dubai, and the Caribbean. And over the past 2 years on Fiverr, I've assisted over 200 clients with startup fundraising, pitch deck refinement, investor outreach strategies, and custom investor databases. In addition, I'm an advisor to a New York-based investment company affiliated with a $60 billion fund. The fund focuses on various sectors, particularly income-producing real estate, with capital requirements for projects typically ranging from $10 to $20 million. These projects are selected based on their cash flow and growth potential, and you get more information about my service by clicking my Fiverr link below. This video highlights Alamo Angels in Texas. They are one of 570 seed capital angel groups in my exclusive fundraising database to help you raise capital for your startup. Alamo Angels is an angel investment group supporting early stage startups in the Alamo region. Company snapshot: they're based in San Antonio, Texas, and they're classified as an angel group, and their sectors include consumer goods and technology. And the distinct benefit for startups are they are best for startups in the Alamo region seeking angel investment and local support. And here are some of the companies they have invested in. One of the key features of my database is that it includes tips for investor outreach, and this is the best database for first-time fundraising. I specifically created it for people who are going to be doing their first round of fundraising with the idea that they're actually going to make contact with people well before they need the funds. And so some of these tips you're going to see in the spreadsheet coming up and a little bit further on in the video where I show you the Excel spreadsheet, and all these key outreach touch points are going to be in it for each of the 570 contacts. For example, in this case, you might include in your email, Alamo Angels is known for its support of early stage ventures. We are excited to engage in a conversation about how our new venture aligns with your investment thesis. So the idea is to actually send these type of contact emails out well before, and this allows you to build up a history of contacts with venture capital firms and angel groups over the growth of your company. Too many people, when it comes to fundraising, start to fundraise when they actually need the funds. And the problem with that is it could take 6 to 9 months before you actually get the contacts and sort of touch base with everybody. And by doing it with this particular set of systems allows you to actually start to make contacts when you first get some traction in your company or some hits the first milestones. It could be in the first year of your company, it could be in the first 6 months of your company. But if you contact two venture capital or angel groups with these type of headings and emails early on in the process, it's going to allow you to build up that contact base, because people change in these firms over time and you want to have a chain of contacts at each one. Now, if you do not know who the contact is, one of the strategies would be to send an email, for example, with a subject heading such as Request for Direct Funding, Exploring Investment Opportunities with Alamo Angels, and then your key initial email approach line may include, we are exploring investment opportunities that align with Alamo Angels' focus. Could you connect us with the right person or team responsible for evaluating such opportunities? Now you notice you're not going to mention pitch decks. You're not going to mention that you're raising $100,000, $200,000, $500,000. That is the whole idea, is that you want to make a contact. So whoever receives that email, and keep in mind that on your website for venture capital or angel groups, a lot of times they're not going to have contacts, email addresses, or if they do have the contacts, you're going to find that usually they're the most senior contacts, like the partners and the principals. You want to be able to make contact with somebody in the early stages at an associate level, an investment analyst, somebody that's going to be happy to communicate with you, because that is their job. If you send it to a partner early on, number one, they're not going to probably respond to you, so you're going to want to make sure that you try to use this strategy strategy. If you send this type of an email to somebody at the firm, whether it's at info at or admin at or at the HR level, they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to send you back a note saying the best person to contact is so and so and give you their email address, or they're going to forward it on to somebody usually at a lower level, which is fine because those are the type of people that you're going to need to have contact with anyway. They're the ones that usually vet the initial pitch decks that get sent. So it doesn't hurt to have contact with them a year before you're ready to start fundraising. And then if something happens and they're no longer with the firm, then you can always use your secondary contact to say, hey, I was communicating with so-and-so. Who is my next point of contact? So this prepares you for a more efficient fundraising campaign when the time is right, and this is the best strategy for you to prepare for the most important part of your fundraising, and that is when you actually need the funds. This is the type of seed capital angel group you can find in my exclusive guide. I created this exclusive database to help founders reach out to seed and angel investors with confidence. There is no other resource like it, period. So let's take a look at the database. So now we're over on the database section. So this is the seed capital and angel group investor database. And as you can see on the top here, it has 570 contacts. And total investments for this group is over 37,000 in the past few years. This is the best source of seed capital that you're going to find, and this was handpicked for me from my database of over 400,000 contacts. So this is not a database that you can scrape off the internet because they have all been verified. These are all companies that deal in seed capital, so you can be sure that if that is the type of funds that you're looking for, this is the great source for you, not only in the very beginning of your company stages, but as you move along the line. The purpose of this database is to actually use as a contact for when you first get your company ready and rolling, and you can say to them, I am a founder in the tech space or whatever space you're in, and you want to make initial contacts in the very beginning. So that's the beauty of this type of list. If you're thinking about fundraising, you should not think about sending out your outreach emails when you're looking for the funds. You should be thinking about that 1-2 years beforehand, where you start to make contacts with these key groups, because that's the best way for you to build at least a connection with not only the one member, could be multiple members of the team. And keep in mind that the people in the teams will always change over time unless they're the founders and the principals. So let's just take a quick look at this here. So you're going to get the company names, you're going to get the cities, and again, this is a USA list. These are all either venture capital or angel groups. And there could be some family investment offices, but they're really focused on micro venture capital, and angel groups, because those are the ones that look at allocating funds for startups, and you can usually look at anywhere from around $100,000 to around $500,000, sometimes up to $1 million for these type of groups. And that's why they have been collected in this particular database, because it doesn't make sense for you to start to look at databases that have growth capital. In other words, firms that are looking to finance you in your third or fourth raise, or databases that have private equity that aren't going to lend to a startup. So that's why I've spent over 150 hours minimum working on this database. In fact, I've been working on this database for a few years, but it was just finally some interest in clients where to connect both angel groups and venture capital groups that are seed capital. What's an angel group? Very simple. If you're looking to approach angel investors, the easiest way is to actually do it by contacting angel groups. An angel group is a firm that is founded and has sometimes 50, 100, 200, maybe even more individual angel investors as part of that group. And what it does, it helps them organize potential investment opportunities that come across their desk, so that they can present it to the group as a whole or to individuals that may be in that group. So in other words, this particular database has thousands and thousands and thousands of individual angel investors, but you do not have to contact them one by one. You can do that by simply going into the groups that are composed of angel investors. This database is also very unique because in some cases I've already identified key contacts for you. Now the reason I have not done this for all the contacts is very simple. Throughout the life of your group and even through your contacts when you're doing your fundraising, you're going to approach different people. For example, if it's a principal or a founder, those are great contacts if you're ready to start raising funds. But if you're just starting out your group, you may want to look at approaching associates or whoever might be that first contact. And that helps you build your contact within that group up as your company grows. And it's really, really important because then you never have to be in a scenario where you're looking at firms that only are looking at warm introductions. Most of these, and in fact, over 95% of them, you do not need to have a previous contact with someone. So what have I done to include? And another key thing is they all are either going to have their company emails, in other words, info at, contact at, or you will submit your information on a forum on their website. It's very common for venture capital and angel groups, instead of having an email address, to have a forum where you'll submit your information. You do not have to submit your pitch deck. In fact, in the very beginning of your approach to companies, I would suggest you not using a pitch deck. You could use bullet points or an executive summary, but leave the pitch deck for when you're looking to start to raise funds. So what makes this database unique is I've included the key outreach touch points. In other words, if you have a direct contact that you've known, then there's some key words here that you can use in your particular letter. And that really kind of helps you get started. In other words, I'm not writing the letters for you. I do have that service on Fiverr if you're interested. But for example, this one here says, Helios Capital is recognized for its strategic investments in diverse sectors. Let's discuss the potential synergies between our new venture and your investment approach. So that's a good line to put in as what I would call a second sentence in your letter. So I've done that for all 570. I've added some key points about their group so that you actually make it look like it's customized. You should not spam these type of venture capital and angel groups with your message because it won't work. They get hundreds and hundreds of emails a day, and yes, that means hundreds and hundreds of potential people who are looking to raise funds, and it's best that you go in with an approach where it's customized. So that's really, really important, and that's why I've devised this database. There is no other database like this on the market, no one else, and there's many firms and high profile companies that allow you access to databases. In other words, you've got to pay a subscription. You might be allowed to contact 100 firms in a month. This is more refined. In other words, I've done the heavy lifting for you. I've devoted the hours so that you don't have to do it. So the second part of this is, because you are going to use this database in the very beginning and early days, you're going to want to be able to contact somebody in the very early stages, and you may not know them. The reason you may not know them is because in some cases venture capital firms will list their employees and their LinkedIn addresses. Okay, so that's really key, but in some cases you won't. So I actually suggest, and I've already done the work for you, is that you send them a letter seeking information on who might be a good contact. For example, this one here, the subject is inquiry regarding investment opportunities, seeking the right contact. So that will be the body of your email. And then I have added what's called the second sentence, and it says, as we explore potential investment avenues, we believe our venture aligns with Pipeline Ventures investment criteria. Could you assist us in identifying the appropriate contact for further discussions? Now, the reason I've put that type of strategy in here is if you send this to info at, or if you send this to admin, they're going to pass it. They're going to do two things. They're going to probably pass it on to the appropriate party, or they're going to send you back a polite message saying, yes, you can contact so-and-so with your opportunity. They'll do that because that's their job. That's what they're there for. I've really made that clear. I have other investor databases. For example, I just created one for the Middle East where I have almost all the HR contacts. So in that way, an HR contact is never going to delete an email like that because that's not their job. Their job is to facilitate these type of introductions and making sure they get to the right person. So the beauty of this is if it's a venture capital or angel group firm, let's say they've got a founder, a couple principals, they may have 3 or 4 associates or people who analyze investments. That's who this particular contact is going to be made with, and it's great because that's who you want your initial contact with. You want to be able to make that initial contact with somebody at a lower level, introducing yourself, and maybe arranging a meeting or a Zoom call to see how you can align your company with them for when it comes down to the point where you're going to do fundraising. People should think about that when they're doing their fundraising, is treat it like a business development exercise. So that is the database of venture capital, seed venture capital, and angel groups in the USA for the initial stages of your fundraising. My master database has over 400,000 verified global contacts. That includes angel investors, family investment offices, pension funds, hedge funds, private equity databases, REITs, premium high net worth and ultra high net worth Middle East investors database, venture capital lists, and investment banks. I also help clients with pitch deck reviews and corporate fundraising presentations. If you're getting ready to send your presentation out to investors, send it to me. I will take a look at it. Approximately 80% of the presentations I see are not suitable to be sent out to investors. I have a service on Fiverr that will help fix that. Just click my Fiverr link below for more information. For more information on my databases and fundraising services, click my Fiverr link below. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.